What's up, guys? This is the back of my SEGA Saturn with that little door taken off because I recently set up the console for the first time in a while and I was disappointed to find that the save battery had died. So it just takes one of these little watch batteries, so I just got a couple new ones, and you put the positive side on top, you slide it in, there's like a little overhanging piece that you have to slide it underneath, and then you just push it down into place and you're all set. Let me just put the door back on. Alright, so let's play Christmas Nights. But since it's the summertime, the title will actually say Nights Limited Edition. The in-game title changes depending on the time of year. So I was a little sad to see my save files erased for Nights and Christmas Nights, which are, for the most part, those are the only games that I use my Saturn for. I did get into Virtua Fighter 2 a couple years ago, but yeah, I just have never used my Saturn for much, except for the NiGHTS games, which I love. Now, these clips are directly from original NiGHTS, but if the game was in the winter mode, then we would see new FMV intro clips based on a storybook, hand-drawn style, telling a little story about the kids going through town at Christmas time. So it's actually a much cooler intro, but I am playing this synced up with real-life date and time right now. So let's dive into it. I did just start this save file, but I didn't complete a single bit of gameplay yet. I started and I was talking a lot, and I messed up my very first gameplay, so I just restarted it. So each character has the stage mirrored opposite each other, so there's no huge reason that I picked Elliot instead of Clarice or Claris. I'll just let the intro play out here since this is the first time seeing everything for a while, including for the video here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wander around the stage for a couple minutes as the kid, because the kids actually are best used for doing this. And I might make a video just explaining that at some point. That everybody usually thinks that you start a round by going into the pavilion right away. Hey, my first time walking by a Nightopian. Walking by calmly to make him happy. So, everybody starts off thinking that you start the round by jumping into the pavilion and becoming knights right away. It's sort of the natural instinct for most people, but I was playing this within the last couple few years. I was getting into this game. I actually put in the save battery in 2016, so that means that original NiGHTS and Christmas Nights both killed off the save battery without playing the game very much, without the Saturn being used very much. Let's see if I can hit this clock here. Okay. I want to try to get a bunch of orbs before I go into the pavilion. And I became convinced when I was playing this game a lot the last few years, within the last 3 years, I became convinced that this is what the developers actually intended everyone to do. They don't explain it anywhere, including in the instruction manual. Um, but I did become convinced that this is the best way to make use of the kits. You actually want to get as many orbs as possible before jumping into the pavilion. And I'll explain it more as I go through it, but since the kids have 3D movement throughout the stage, it's actually possible to get the very best score by doing this, because the kids can get potentially almost every single orb on the stage. Actually, they're not called orbs; they're called chips, I believe. So it's a happy NiGHTS song right there. So we try to do the double jump and get those chips right there. But yeah, since you can potentially get almost every chip on the stage, then it is... Oh no, the clock's gonna get me. Alright. Since I haven't played for a while, I'm just not... I'm not good at grabbing the chips right now, just because I haven't played for a really long time. I'm not even sure how long it's been. I mean, I would say at least 6 months, maybe 9 months, I don't know. Open up your presents. Open your presents. Oh, it's a memory matching game, okay. Well, let's give it another shot. Yeah, I was starting to say earlier, there's no huge reason that I'm picking Elliot first instead of Clarice or Claris. They play the same stage, just mirrored opposite. But honestly, I just always enjoyed... I always preferred to play a male character in video games, and I'm not being a jerk by saying that. Just any game where there was ever the choice of a male or female character, I just always chose the male characters. And you know, I'm not making a joke or an insult or anything, I just genuinely always preferred to play as male characters in games. So that's all. Well, there's a happy NiGHTS. A few happy NiGHTS. I'm walking by them slowly to make them more happy, so it seems to be working, I think. What was that? I literally don't know what that just was. Huh. Also, it's worth it to jump through the rings as a kid. Which is not obvious because you're not flying, and normally the reason for going through the rings is because it adds to Knight's flying meter. There, I got the timer. Yes. So what you want to do, really, is you want to get over 20... You want to get as many chips as possible, but at the very least you want to get over 20 of them. As a kid, before you jump into the pavilion and become Knights. And that is the best way to play. Right now I'm looking for more chips, but I guess I got all these out of the trees. The trees usually have 2 or 3 chips in each tree. Now I'm walking by these guys to make them happy, and I did make them more happy, I believe. So, let's see. I'd like to grab a few more chips before I jump into the pavilion and become Knights. But since I have more than 20, and since the timer is chasing me more quickly, I am going to jump into the pavilion and start the Knights gameplay. Oh wait, let me see. I just saw a whole bunch of chips floating right there. Nice. Yeah, since... Oh, there's a bunch right over there. Let me go get those. Oh no! Yeah, I'll just jump in. Alright, so what you want to do now is you want to fly towards the floating capsule and blow it up immediately. Okay, because now you'll notice the chips have all turned gold. They were blue all this time, and they just turned gold, and it said bonus time. And this is double points for everything. If I recall correctly, every single thing is double points in the bonus gameplay, which I'm doing right now. So that's why you want to get 20 or more chips as a kid, so that when you do become knights, you can jump into the capsule immediately and start bonus time immediately, so that everything is double points. And like I said, I'm convinced this is how the game is actually meant to be played. Not just for Christmas nights, but for regular nights as well. I'm convinced that every stage you're supposed to play as the kids first, wander around with 3D freedom of movement, and oh nice, I just I just made one of those eggs hatch. We float down here and go by them real slowly. Try to make them more happy. So I love these Knights games on Saturn. I don't like the later Wii game whatsoever, Knight's Journey of Dreams. I did not like that game whatsoever, but I do love the two Knights games actually released for Saturn. So right now I need to go into that pavilion. Okay, perfect. Let's see, it should be an A. Oh, it's just a B. Okay. There's a certain amount of memorization involved in this game, so so you have to play for a bit just to get your skills polished up a bit and to memorize each stage a bit, and to start really getting an A on each course. So since I just haven't played for quite a while, I just don't have that memorized. Look at that crazy thing right there. That's a bad Knightopian that I had grabbed and shot. And then it becomes a spinning ball while it flies around, bounces around the stage. Alright. Actually, here, I better blow up the capsule. So yeah, since it's just the first time playing in a long time, I just don't have the layout memorized or the placement of the items like I would if I was just playing this and practicing for a while before playing. I am able to get an A on each course, or at least an A on each stage, rather, in both of the Saturn Knights games. I can get an A on each stage, but not when it's the first time playing in like 8 or 9 months. But a B is still a decent grade for the first time playing in such a long time. And it's possible to get an A on a stage without getting an A for every single course in that stage. So it's still possible to get an A on the stage even if you do get a B or a lesser grade. Let's see. There's a C. Okay. It's unlikely I'll get an A on the stage here, but maybe I can get a B overall. Alright. Oh right, this was... Okay, now I got 20, so I'm going to beeline back to that capsule that I just passed by. For every course after the first one, that's pretty much the strategy. You want to get 20 as fast as possible, while flying around as knights, and then beeline back to the capsule as fast as possible. Right here I'm doing tricks, and what was that? I just heard like an animal outside or something. Yeah, for the tricks you want to get as many as possible. Some people say that you can sort of cheat a little bit by putting knights against the ceiling of the stage. But I don't think that really makes such a difference. Maybe a little bit of a difference, but it's almost the same when you're just flying and tapping the L and R triggers just while flying around. That's how you do all the tricks. It's by different combinations of the D-pad as well as the L and R triggers. Right now I need to speed back to the pavilion though. Okay, perfect. Let's see, I got an A. Okay, yeah, this could still work out for an A or a B overall score for the stage. Alright. So far so good. I'm pretty excited. I really didn't know how my performance would be for the first time in a long time, but this is still a decent performance, especially in that context. Okay, I didn't really mean to go in there right now. I want to get one more to make it 20 and then go back in there. Yeah, but as far as those tricks go, you pretty much just want to mash the buttons for mash the input for the D-pad as well as the L and R triggers. Different combinations of those. Oh wait. Different combinations of the D-pad plus the L and R triggers, and that's all you need to do a bunch of tricks. If you're having trouble making it work, you can try hitting him against the ceiling, but like I said, I don't see a big difference in doing that compared to just flying around, mashing the input for the tricks. But that is a huge part of... Oh man, there's like cats fighting outside. Like, what weird background noise for this game. Now, I'm not sure how great the colors are going to look in this video. Oh no, I just scared one of the good Nightopians. Let me beeline back to the... Ah, I got stuck right there. Oh no, this is gonna ruin my score. If you... Oh man, if you ever lose knights like that, try to pick up whatever chips you can, but that really kills your score for the stage. Don't let the clock get you, though. Just go back to the pavilion and see what you got. Probably an F. Alright, let's see. A B overall. Alright, let's see what I could do here. There's still the boss fight. Alright, I'm pretty good at this boss fight, so I think I can probably still manage to get at least a B for the stage overall. Oh, you're not supposed to do that. Really, you want to just stay in front of him and keep on hitting him the whole time. You don't want to fly up and over him like that. It's just a waste of time. Everything in this game is a matter of how much time you spend doing everything. So yeah, I expect to get a B overall score for the stage plus the boss fight. I hope I'm not making the screen shake. I keep on lightly brushing by my iMac, so I hope it's not like totally making the screen bounce around or something. Yeah, I don't have any kind of proper setup. I'm using my iMac. Oh man, let's see. I'm using my iMac to record this, and it's balancing on top of a PC tower on my desk, and then the TV is on a fireplace mantle, actually. So, not at all a proper setup, but it's such an amazing game that it probably still should look awesome. And also, I had to turn down the brightness on my TV as far as possible. So that was a matter of just letting it show up on my iMac's screen while it's recording. It had to be turned down as much as possible to to prevent glare. The colors kept glaring on my iMac's camera, so yeah, I had to turn down the colors as much as possible. So I'm not sure how entirely accurate the colors are going to look, but it still should look awesome because the game just looks awesome altogether. So I'm actually going to wrap this up, but that was a few minutes. Actually, let me see my presents. Let's see what I won. Oh, this is funny. I won the present of turning the game into Christmas mode anytime by choosing this mode right here, this present right here. And then this is Knight's Museum, so let's see. It's probably, yeah, it's a few shots of different character models. This was especially awesome for the year that this came out. 1996 was right before the internet became widespread, so the bonus content on the disc was especially awesome for that time, before people could just use the internet anytime they wanted to. Alright, I'm going to wrap this up. Peace out.